Okay, today I'm going to try to show you how to figure out what your max diameter of a bowl will be, what the max height will be, and what the minimum height on the sides will be in turning a live edge bowl. And this will be the final product. This right here being our max height, the sides being your minimum height. I'm going to go over how deep the bowl will be and to add enough so that you have your tenon. And I'm going to go over the largest diameter of your bowl. I've marked the center, the pith of the log, and I wanted to find the highest point in the log. So I put my square tip on the pith and dotted a line down the center for a reference. The next thing, I like to turn no deeper than a 6-inch bowl, given the size of my lay. So, excluding the bark, I measured 6 inches from the edge of the sapwood down and placed a mark. And when I had my mark, I took my square, drew a line all the way across the log. The next thing I wanted to do was to find my diameter. So what I did is I just put my square up here. I went with an 11-inch diameter. Once I found the 11 inches, I placed a mark on the center line and then repeated the same process for scoring a line across. The importance of this line is that it tells me the minimum height and it will tell me the rise from the minimum height to the max height. We know the distance from the top to my line right here is 6 inches. So I come off this line at the bottom of the bowl and measure it up to the edge of this mark, and I ended up with 3 inches. Now this bowl, the sides from to the bottom of the bowl to the sides will be a height of 3 inches, and then from the minimum height to the max height there will be a 3-inch rise. From here to there will be 3 inches on this bowl. The next thing I wanted to do was the jaws on my chuck. They're a 1/2 inch deep. So I measured down a 1/2 inch, made a mark, and then used my square, squared up with the center reference line, and scored a line on the very bottom. Now this will be everything from here back I can cut off with a chainsaw, and everything from 90 degrees up, or I should say 90 degrees down from my diameter down to the bottom line mark, I can cut that off with the chainsaw. Now when I go to put this on the lay, I know that once I cut my tenon in the bottom, from the tenon to the top is 6 inches, but we know that won't actually be the depth of my bowl. Depending on how thick or thin you turn this bowl, you need to measure from this bottom line, which will be where the base of the bowl and the tenon meet, up, and that will determine the very bottom of your actual bowl. Now, if you're going to put a foot or a base on your bowl, you need to allow a 1/2 inch or however thick of a base that you want. As you can see on this bowl here, I've got a 1/2 inch for my tenon, and then I've got probably a 1/2 inch here for a base. So when the bowl is dried and I turn it over and I go to cut the tenon off, I will have a base around the bowl instead of it just sloping right into the bottom. So if you put a base on the bottom, you need to measure up however high you're going to make it, and then however thin or thick you decide to turn your bowl, you need to add that on top, and that will give you your true measurement. That will give you your true measurement from the top to the bottom inside of your bowl, and from the top to the bottom side of your bowl, you will have your measurement.